Hi everyone. Today I'll be discussing a recent article taken from The Guardian. It's titled The Result of Normalizing Reform's Ideas. Neighbor is turning against neighbor. So essentially the article is talking about the Reform Party in the United Kingdom and the growing anti-immigration and anti-minority rhetoric surrounding British politics. The author explains that immigrants and ethnic minorities in England are increasingly feeling socially excluded and targeted as political discourse becomes more centered around nationalism and identity politics. The article describes how there's plenty of politicians uh, and elected officials who have made inflammatory comments that are both derogatory and condescending towards immigrants and minority groups, uh, supporting an anti-immigration rhetoric um, just to sugarcoat their campaign goals or as filler words when asked about their commitments to the people, right? It's very easy to blame people who are immigrants. It's very easy to um, look at the demographic of people who committed crime and say that the majority are immigrants, right? Although, uh, as we have learned many times before, correlation does not mean causation, right? There will always be a confounding factor that should be examined and assessed further. According to the author, this has contributed to fear, suspicion, and division between different groups within society. Again, separation, division. I think this article strongly connects to the concept of social identity we're discussing this week, right? Explains that people tend to categorize themselves into groups. People tend to put themselves in a box, in a frame, in a classification, right? Us versus them. Sort of the polarization theories that we have learned over the course of the political science classes. But these identities can be based on nationality, ethnicity, religion, political affiliation, or culture. These identities or group identities, they become strong. They repel each other, right? It's the nature favoring their own group and going against the other. The article again demonstrates the idea of in groups and out groups. In this case, immigrants and ethnic minorities are increasingly being treated as the out group. Nationalist political movements attempt to strengthen a certain version of British identity as the dominant in group, as the quote unquote originals of the state, right? I think it also links back to stereotyping, social categorization, and groups of people are generalized and associated with negative assumptions simply because of their ethnicity or immigration status. Instead of viewing individuals separately, people begin seeing them only through group labels because uh, our mind operates in terms of heuristics, right? It's easier to be able to, again, put people in a box, classify them a certain way, associate them with certain things because it allows our mind to make quick decisions regarding what our perspectives are of the person, how we should treat them, how we should accept them, how we should socialize with them, right? Again, this ties to a broader scope, which is psychology, unrelated to our class, but again, this can be t- sort of an explanation of why people tend to do so. Social identity can and will influence political behavior because people often vote not only on economic interest but also based on which groups they have an emotional resonance with, right? When political identities become tied to race, culture, nationalism, societies, they are more polarized, right? Again, connecting back to our social case study, we know that identity shape conflict, and public opinion in modern democracies. Um, I think that these conflicts are slowly but surely overriding um, healthy and public discourse. Overall, I think that this article shows that social identity is an extremely powerful force in politics and society. The way people define us and them can influence public attitudes, voting behavior, and even the treatment of minority communities. A reminder that the concepts from this class can better help us understand how we can deal and mitigate the risks of these issues in our own nation by looking at examples of other nations such as the United Kingdom in this case, which I bring to you, so we could, as in comparative politics, compare the situation to our own country. Thank you very much, everyone.